learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in at April 9th, 2020, and I am going to go over the scariest trend in the stock market right now. It has to do with the series of news, companies, and plays that we've talked about, but that are unfolding. I have a thesis. I might even set up more of these plays. However, with how things are playing out, we saw another huge oil rip today. We have the oil talks tomorrow. We have a pretty big day, but then the market is at an interesting spot now. We closed up 779 points on the Dow. And I have a surprising fun fact. So now the real bull versus bear war is actually going to begin here because these levels that we're at are very, very important. So we have a lot to cover. I'm going to go over that. I got the plays for tomorrow. I have 3 stocks that I'm even going to be trying to play tomorrow, as well as kind of, well, 2 stocks that we already bought, 2 stocks that I want to buy as well too. So there's going to be opportunities. And remember, tomorrow is the last trading day of the week. Friday is Good Friday. So the market is closed. So this is your only day to flip the bag, ladies and gentlemen. So that means we got a Froggy Thursday. My goodness. I hope you're excited. I'm glad you're here. So we have a lot to cover, and there's going to be a lot of stuff. So I hope you're ready. Let's get into it. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It costs you nothing to join. It's free 99. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. There's a live chat. There's the plays. There's the news. Everything as it breaks. And we've been starting to see a lot of stuff. I said shout out to the Scream Alerts, baby, because it's showing its value here, even with some of the news we saw today with both oil and then before one of the plays was happening. But we're getting into this market zone of responding to news, or now we're getting more breaking news versus following more of a broader market index, factor. So I'm excited. So I hope we better see you on stream. It's free again. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watches below. Let us know what you're looking at. You got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post it below. What are you playing for that Thursday, Froggy Thursday? Yeah, okay. So let's get right into it. But before I do say that, let me actually even take this opportunity to just say thank you. Thank you for watching. And especially thank you for the people who have been positive and are always positive. Even if you haven't been on this channel and you're just a positive person and you are surrounded by a lot of negativity in general, and you make that choice to be positive and to do the right thing, I don't think that gets enough love. We talked about that today on stream. So shout out to you. I really appreciate you, and thank you for that. And thank you for watching the video and being supported and understand option traders the risk. Get those options Thank you. Wonderful day. Okay, but seriously, right off the bat, the first fun fact I will start with is that surprisingly, we are at the cusp of a technical bull market. So based on where we closed and the market being back up on these levels in the time frame, if we keep going up, you've technically entered quote unquote bear market territory as far as the chart is concerned in the ranges. And that's very, very interesting, because then now it's going to start bringing up reminiscence of any of the past V or W shape recoveries, amongst other things. But as far as even 2008, 2010, after the Euro crisis, or 2011 and all that, you saw this happen. And I said typically within 12 months or lower, it's typical for you to start entering bear market territory within 12 months of entering bear market territory. And that's what we already did. And that is surprisingly quick. But the latest rallies we've seen in our modern decade, or modern 2 decades almost, has been a relatively quick return to normal within that 12-month time frame. So it could be MMT, modern monetary theory, but who knows? So there's that. And I haven't even talked about the scariest trend yet. I'm going to save that for you. But the next thing tomorrow, like we said, oil meeting is going to be the biggest driver tomorrow. So mixed with the underlying activity that is dislocated for the market. And I'll talk about that a little bit. First, we'll show you oil. But there was a piece of... let's go, baby. I didn't mean to click that one. So, but coming to the chart on oil and Thinkorswim and all that, oil had a huge pop today. It wasn't as big. It only closed up, I think, 4 or 5%. Or no, it's a new session. I think it was probably like up 6-7%. So it wasn't another historically big day. But now there's reports that Russia is willing to kind of work with it. It came, and then it wasn't really an official report. And there was 2 other oil rumor news that hit before this one got legs and started running. It was very, very surprising. It was very, very shocking. I think so. So I want to see what happens tomorrow. And this is going to be a very, very important day. Now, on the other scope of things, what I was referring to with this, Oil is going to affect the market, so that could cause more divergences, push or pull. The market might go with it, might do its own thing, but I definitely think that's going to be big on the macro event. But now there's underlying activity that the market is dislocated from. It's dislocated from, today was the deadliest day with deaths when it comes to the virus and all that. They didn't care. There's a lot of stuff. It's like, why is the market going up for no reason? Why is it going down for no reason? Somebody asked me this today. Some people are mad that I've answered this question and we've talked about it, but it doesn't leave you with a simple yes or no. It doesn't leave you with a simple reason to say this is exactly why. It is a collective of a lot of different things and factors, and that's what everyone's figuring out here now. But the number one, if I was going to give an answer to that, I came up with it today. It's just simply this whole process of moving up and down. Like, why is the market going up randomly and then dropping and then doing something despite whatever the news is saying? This is the normal function of monetary policy, especially as it affects the market. This is literally, I think it's just a natural response of intervention. This is a natural market move. Most of the people trading, it's not retail. There is a lot of retail out there, but it's not going to move the market like this. I think this is just a necessary function of implementing all of these different changes. And then the fact that they made such changes, you're going to get a lot of stuff automatically buying and selling, and the real big actors moving money and stuff around to make it fit into both regulations, how this new system should work, and all of that. So that, my friends, is the reason why. So that's what I'm saying, is that you're going to see the market do its own thing, and then whatever the news is, we will see. But we are at a crucial point, again, being that bull market cap and then that bear market cap too. It's going to get interesting here. So moving forward, though, with the markets, the next big thing has essentially, this is what I could assume has justified some of this bullishness. Como said it today, Governor of New York, is that the curve has flattened a little bit. And so some of these social distancing measures have actually had effects. So shout out to you. But the whole point, he said, don't even give shout outs to people, because the next key moving forward, and this is what the market's looking for, it's going to be the social response. But now the market more so wants to know about the next wave, because he's saying don't even say that, don't get excited that now that the curve is flattened, because some people are assuming that it's safe, and then that's going to lead people to go outside, and then that's going to start the next wave. It just seems now that the dialogue, we flattened it a little bit. We didn't get as bad. Things are about to get good, but it seems like things are doing good. But now it seems naturally we've got past stage one, but now governors, officials, leaders, and even I think the market sees it, is looking ahead to step two. How do we get past this now? And that's why they're saying watch out for the next wave, because, and it makes sense why all these people would be looking forward, because they're saying, how are we going to stop the first wave, the second wave, everything in between? Because as we start looking at different steps in the future, we got to start knocking those out to get the economy back up and running. So I think this was important, and we're going to see, again, today was a large number of deaths in days, or a large number of deaths in a single day, and that's what we need to watch out for. And I think that could be good, but it's not going to have as much effect. Again, once some of those other market activities with other news, we will see it'll usually come colliding all at the same time. So watch out for that. And now this is the most disturbing, or the most surprising, or the scariest trend, is we saw the third day in a row of China stocks getting hit. And now today it was Zoom. And then Baidu had something come up. And then I think the CEO of TAL, another Chinese education company, but Zoom was one of them. So Zoom got a ban from Google on, I don't know if it was their app or something else. I really don't know what they said. Either Google's banning them from the app, and they moved, and they're actually coming up now here, but that could signal something. But some people have compared Zoom to China because of the founder, and it's not a Chinese stock, but it has some connections to that. And some people are saying that that's the problem, and that officials own, I think Chinese officials own part of it. I'm not too sure on that. Don't quote me on that one. But all in all, we've been seeing now this trend. And why do I say it's scary and surprising? Because this is a new realm. Even the World Health Organization, you saw, you don't go after China. I mean, they get mad. They get really sensitive. You saw the NBA. You saw the World Health Organization. WHO was really willing to do whatever they said. And what did we threaten to the WHO? We said, we're going to take your money. So what's happening now? This looks like a money grab or escalation. That's what I'm saying. This is a new thesis of mine. The fact that we're seeing it 3 days in a row, I think a pattern is emerging, and I think it's very, very scary, because it's going to enter a new level of escalation and politicizing that you will see play out. And again, I could be totally wrong. This could blow over. This could, and it's so early that this could just be one thing, maybe a few companies. But I'm asking why. I think it's an interesting time that investors are starting to now investigate what's going on with some of these Chinese companies and these analysts and these companies. So just don't forget who we're dealing with. And this is a lot of money, and it has a lot of implications. So we made a play on there, but all in all, this is going to be the next thing I'm going to be watching as far as the broader market, because this is what I'm seeing this will set up some individual plays regardless of even what the market does. So I'm going to be watching out for that. But with that, I think it's time now. Let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, these are the plays we made, and it has to do with this. I said this yesterday on the stream. I've been pretty much executing every play I told you guys I wanted because the market's moving kind of fast but slow in a way. We have a lot of positions with a lot of different time. We're riding those out. So any of these new ones, it's pretty simple to kind of know what to be watching for. So I grabbed the pin duos, and we did something cool. And this is a cool trick I would pay attention to, especially if you watch the stream. I made a very good note of it, and someone called it out. Shout out to Noah, man. Noah, the code loves you, Noah. We saw Noah. Someone get this man a Lexus. The trick was I made this first trade, and then after that trade, Noah called it out. People have done this before, and this isn't something you always do. I said, be careful. It's not always going to be a good deal, but sometimes what happens now with volatility, depending on the stock, depending on even the distance between strike prices, how liquid the company is or the option chain, sometimes the premiums will start shooting up in one direction, but then the contracts with more time will essentially become the same price. So the volatility, remember, every single option is unique. Every single chain, every single strike price, those are all different exchanges. So sometimes that could happen where it's not accounting for the price of the June contract. There's a whole separate market on the July contract and at a different strike price. So that's what happened here. We got the pin duos. We grabbed those in the morning, and we grabbed the 25 put. I grabbed 30 of them at 30 cents. So we grabbed those relatively early in the morning. I don't know what time I grabbed them. I got it within 4 minutes of market open. So we got it still pretty low, and even when the market bounced, they held up. Then it came down. You see it pretty much closed near its lows of the day, but those contracts ended up closing up. Those ones, they pretty much doubled up. They're at 55, 65 on the bid and ask. We paid 35 for them, but now after I got that first trade, I executed this trade. It was almost 10 minutes later. I got this one at 642. So it makes sense. The stock was really towards the high and starting to come down. We saw the prices of those contracts. Noah called that out, and I took a look. So we'll show you here. This was our first play. This is the one we got. You see, got it in the morning, and it was already up. Like I said, I was late to it. It jumped up from the morning, and it was already up, and you can see it kind of just trended up. It doesn't look like any of the Colt plays where it was just like a straight up and then held. You kind of saw it was progressively increasing throughout that whole time, and then it eventually started capping out around here when it was at the low, but it held up very, very well. And again, I got 30 of those contracts. But then, so we're at the 25 put, and then both of these plays cover earnings, and I'm pretty much going to hold these there. I am up a lot, so I might want to make them free. I'm tempted to, but I still kind of like, again, with this whole theory, I like it. So then what did we do? We went to the 27s now, and then I only got 5 more because I already put a large position on the Junes, so I wanted to take advantage of that. And then you see there's kind of the lag right here. So imagine what was happening. If we go back to the other chart, you could see from the morning it had that first gap up, but then it was already constantly going up. Like, it was more of a direct gap up and move. So come back now to this one contract, the second one we got, the 27. What do you notice? There was that gap. It didn't, it stayed in the morning, and then that's when I took the trade. I think that was me right there. Or no, I got him at 55. So no, I think this was me right here. This was me right here where they, again, and even then you saw it for the most, it only went up to 50. That's why I paid 5 cents above it, but it barely moved. It literally was 10 minutes behind, and then it finally caught up with it. So then that was a great play, but those are now closed there. Those are at 95 to $1.20, so we made over 100% on those now too. So that was a good play. I really, really like that one. I'm holding both of those. Pinduoduo, they're the stronger of all of the companies, I would say, on the China stock. That's why I'm going after it, because if we do start shifting and going after these companies, you will see that effect, and everybody will get pretty much clapped on it. I'm still holding those Baidus. Those went up like 40% today. And then the IQs, I'm not too sure on those. So you guys can see here are the trades, and we'll go over the Zoom one here. But yeah, that's crazy. The IQs, so look at the IQs are still up 100%. But why do I say that's crazy? Because if we come to IQ, there's something really, really different about this whole play, or why it's surprising. This is what I said yesterday, is that people are going to start expecting this the more it happens. We look at IQ. IQ dropped to $14 yesterday. It barely dropped and stayed up today. So the fact the contracts went up even more, that's telling you something. And again, we saw that across the board with a lot of these companies. So there's that one. And then the Baidus, 26%. So these actually came down. They were worth more, a lot more earlier. So there was that. And then the last play I made today was Zoom. And I like this play, but now this play is going to be a little bit more dangerous in the sense that it's April 17th. This is just for next week. This contract I got has 8 days on it. So we got the April 17th 65 play. I bought 10 of them at at 35 cents. So we spent $350. So looking at the date, understand what I'm going to do with this one. This is about 100% out the money. Good thing is Zoom, very volatile. It's already up a lot. It could move a lot, and the premiums are going to get crazy. So I should have made it free. I know some of you did. I even said I was going to do it, but I said I'm going to hold it for a little bit. Again, this whole China theory is literally just at the back of my mind, so I'm willing to risk it a little bit, but we made a decent amount on it right away. It was pretty good, so you could have got it. But being in next week, the key with this play, you really only have one or two dips left in it. So if it bounces, you're screwed. The whole idea of this play is I am going to flip this one a lot quicker, or the minute it does become profitable or enters a good enough profit, or if time starts ticking and it becomes more and more less unlikely, because this is a 50% drop in 8 days. That's a big bet. I'm going to want to flip it out and get rid of it quickly. So this was the play. We got them at 35 cents. They went up to 80 or 90 at one point, and then they closed here at 55. Still good. So we'll see. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to make sure that it doesn't come back down to that price we got it at. But I got into the play late, and we even saw that. So we'll see how it plays out. But I still like it again, and this is kind of playing off the China fear trade in a way. So I like those. And then finally, the last two plays I would be looking at, we botched it today. I called it out. You can go on stream. I said I was like, I'm bullish on UNH. I'd take it. I was like, I just didn't want to play the weekly because it had one extra day less, and that skews kind of my value. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. It was $40 to $400 UNH. And why was I bullish? Why was I so confident on it? We said it. I didn't take the trade though. So again, not, how much confidence, but the key with UNH was that Bernie Sanders dropped out, and last time Biden won, we saw what happened with UNH in the healthcare. So he was definitely weighing on the stock a little bit, or that's at least good enough. If they needed some fuel, that was good enough fuel for it. So they went up. But now why I'm bringing this up here, because tomorrow could be a play. So now that we know, we got to see. So watch how it moved today. Understand how UNH moves. It pretty much either makes the first move in the morning, or it makes a move, holds up, and then makes the move at the end of the day. You'll commonly see that. It moves in a really weird way. So tomorrow could still be a day, because last time it did happen with Biden, it had a burn day. So they had a big day, a burn day, but then it ended up going higher. So we will have to see how tomorrow plays out. It will be interesting, but it could be a good one to sell premium on, or it could be a good one just to do a daily flip. We will see. And then finally, chip makers. That is who I want to watch. And why do I bring that up? Because we have Western Digital. Remember, we have those July contracts for earnings. Those are up a nice 200%, but you're seeing if these companies start to come back, if we start entering that bull market, some territory, and things start doing good, some of these companies have done good, and they're at key levels. Literally, take a look at AMD and all that. So these are good too. They don't move a lot. Lower IV on at least Micron and AMD, so cheaper, quicker flips. We'll see, but I like those. I'm going to be watching those. I would also watch Starbucks after hours. They had a drop, and this move shows you something. Remember last time we were in any of this volatility danger zone with earnings, we saw this before, where the earnings hits has an effect. It drops and then comes back up. You've seen this many before. Manipulation! I think it's just lack of liquidity, and again, a big lack of liquidity and just how the system's functioning until there's more dates or the other one. But I believe they cut guidance, not earnings. And then Costco had earnings and they dropped. So we talked about this. Remember, I talked about putting them on the list, but same thing, just in a slower fashion, but it didn't move enough. So all of these would have been duds, and Iron Condors probably would have been the best, but we'll double check those prices on those tomorrow. Somebody remind me on that, because you could still flip those during the day of after earnings on the Condors. So watch that. And then finally, like I said, with all these Chinese stocks, watch Baidu, watch Baba. Baba could be a good one, but they were kind of expensive and they didn't move much. But Baba's definitely more of a real, more legit, stronger one. Pinduoduo is a little bit more weak. Watch Zoom, UNH, and then Boeing. Boeing's going to be good. They started selling off at the end of the day. The contracts are decent. Now they're going to get real cheap, but it's going to be, this happens. Pretty much Boeing looks to move like every other week. So it's either it's going to make the final move this week, tomorrow, or it's going to be another burn a card, and then next week it's going to start going crazy. So watch those, like you said, Costco and all of that. And then HD, I still want some of this, man. I still want some of this. Dollar movements, again, as far as the quick flip. And one thing to note, the long-term portfolios. We talked about this. We have been acquiring some shares. We did put most of our deposit out this month with stuff. I still have a little bit left, but we're only down 10% now on the overall portfolio. So this is interesting. And then I did sell covered calls on Snapchat to take advantage of that. But again, look at the bear market, the bull market stuff, all of this. So I even, what made me think about that, I still want HT for the long term. So I want to watch them. But in the meantime, I like them on the options chain. McDonald's is a close second. Someone even brought up CMG today. I'm still going to keep my eye on those, still holding those, still down on them. But we're going to make our final move as we come closer to their earnings. And then finally, GLD, TLT, and then UUP. UUP actually ended up going up a lot, even after hours now. And then this is going to be key. And even the Fed minutes came out today, and it gave me a lot of stuff. I actually still need to go over that, but something with what's happening with the dollar, pretty much the strength of the dollar is affecting the repo rates, and it's affecting the bond market. And if the dollar gets too strong, that is part and part causing these problems with the bond market. And the Fed even talked about the admittance of the bond market, because look at this, makes sense. So look at UUP. I talked about this today. Look at TLT. When TLT was breaking, when did TLT break? The bond market broke when the dollar broke, because once the dollar goes crazy, it messed up everything with the bond market, and that's what pulls all the liquidity. So if the dollar keeps getting stronger, that is our evil demon that we have to watch out for, and sadly we have our play in there. So that's our ultimate insurance. I really, really believe so still. So watch that. Watch TLT. Still holding all of these. A lot of those plays have came down at this point. I think some are still up, but I talked about this today with GLD. The GLDs came down now. They're only up like 30%, and I said this yesterday. I said this on stream. What's going to happen here? It's either going to look like this, or it's going to look like this and drop, or if it does finally break out from here, it'll be good. And this is what I'm saying. If you took some losses, you're still holding some, this will be a hope killer. I already could see it, because I already know from here, you have to really decide, are you going to, it's make this simple choice. Are you going to risk the amount to go for the big run up, or do you want to pull out now with some level of profit? This is one of those. I don't exit my positions like that. Like I said, it's either profit or expiration. This is what I'm waiting for. I'm just making the choice to play it on the upside, because I'm still playing with hundreds of thousands of dollars of house money from the beginning of March. But if there was ever a time to cut, understanding gold, understanding the contract at May, this is the time to say, okay, at this point, if it doesn't start making the move from here and it does make a big drop, and that contract goes negative again, it'll be very, very hard for it to go positive again, and then time will run out. It's going to be a whole different play pretty much coming into the next week or two, or if the prices stop moving here. If prices stay up, that's good. It's good that it's establishing a base, but pretty much what's going to happen, it's either going to drop from here, and this is going to be your final moment to cut out, and if with a profit. Otherwise, like I said, it'll just kill the hope, and it'll wreck you. Or this will be now the real breakout, and then this could be the moment we see gold break out. So that's what it is. If I had longer than May, I would still be holding those and chilling. I wouldn't be worried. But if you're on the May contracts or sooner, and they're further out the money, so if you're on a sooner contract but it's like close to the money, this doesn't apply. But if you're on a closer contract, April or May, and you're more than 15% out the money, that's the problem, and that's where we're at right now. Our 180 call, 10% would be $15. That would take you to like what, 170. We're above that. We're at like a 15% or like a 17% move on gold, and that's big, but definitely possible. But the key you want is more time, if anything. So there's that. Then TLT, like we said, we're holding all those, and then the UUP. But again, and that's why I'm saying I don't really care. TLT, I'm letting them sit there. We may average down again on those, maybe, but those have a lot of time. Those have August. We chill. Same thing even with those IWMs. Those are down on. I want to average down on them, but they have so much time. You could let them sit there. They're because eventually they're already down 70, 50. The ones that aren't down too much, I could see why you're like, should I cut or not? Well, that's where you have to make that choice. What decision I'm going to make. But once they hit 70, 80%, I don't care. You hold them there, and then now time decay is actually going to work in your favor, because once the market really starts going in the direction that you initially assumed, even though you're on the first time, we'll be able to get those contracts cheap. So I'm not tripping. I'm excited. I hope you're excited, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need your helmet on. I need you in the game. I need you to control your thoughts. This is your time. Opportunity is on the way. I said it after hours. If you missed that after hours rant, man, that's on you, but I feel it. The tooth is wiggling. Sometimes you might have to yank it out. Sometimes it'll fall out, but you feel it coming, but you can't force it. You got to be smart. You need to choose. You are either going to make a choice with your balance, and you are going to be okay with the choice and the outcome, or you are not going to make those choices. You're going to get caught up in the moment and react instead of decide. And then what's going to happen? You're going to be forced into position, and then you're going to have to now make a choice from a forced position, whereas now you could choose at least the next half of whatever is going to happen. So make those choices, be smart, control the budget. And remember, baby, I've been doing this for 156 months. All you have to do, you're never out of the game, even if you lost money, anything. It's all about coming up, be ready, and show up every single week, every single month. Spreads and events, we got earnings coming up. So get ready. You're going to hit one of these months to stay in the game. Don't check out mentally, baby. The cult needs you. I need you. You need you. Your family needs you. Your goals need you. Now is not the time to give up, baby. So I love you. The code loves you. I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.